A very good afternoon to one and all. And today concept is about push down automata. We can call it as an PDA, where it is an unit number 4. And up to the last class, I covered 3 units, unit 1, 2, and 3. I think you all understand each and every concept with an examples. And from today class onwards, I'm starting a new unit, that is unit number 4 as per our syllabus. The name of that unit it is an push down automata. And here we're having some of the contents under the push down automata, and let us see what are those. And here the first one is about a definition of the pushdown automata. First, initially you need to know what the definition of pushdown automata is and the languages that are accepted for the pushdown automata. That means the languages of a pushdown automata. And then here you are having the equivalence of PDA and CFG. That means both vice versa we're having, vice versa conversion we're having here. That is the equivalence of PDA and context free grammar. And also we're going to learn the acceptance by the final states, and also showing how to accept the empty stacks, and knowing about what the deterministic pushdown automata and non-deterministic pushdown automata. And the most important concepts from this unit number 4 is conversion from CFG to PDA and PDA to CFG. These are the two most important concepts from this fourth unit. I think uh, up to now we see some of the conversions from NFA to DFA, like that Murray to Mealy and Mealy to Murray, and regular expression to DFA and DFA to regular expression. So all these things we already learned. And in this unit we are going to learn and context free grammar to the PDA and PDA to the context free grammar conversion. First, initially to know about the concepts of these conversions directly, we didn't go to the concept of conversions. First of all, we need to know how to define the PDA and how to do the acceptance of the PDA, and knowing about the structure of the PDA. And here we're having two types of an acceptance, by showing the final state acceptance and by showing it as an empty stack. So these are the two ways of acceptance that we're having in PDA. So these are the things that we're going to learn under the unit number 4, the concept of pushdown automata. And the pushdown automata can also be called it as an PDA. PDA is an pushdown automata. And here we're having an hierarchy of languages, and what the hierarchy is. Up to now we see some context free grammars, context free languages, regular grammars, regular languages, regular expressions, and as well as the finite state machines. All these we're having, right? So what the hierarchy of the languages means, first start with an regular languages, then it goes to the context free languages, and it can be divided into two parts. One is regular language and another one is in context free language. And while coming to the regular languages, what we are going to learn in the regular languages is about and finite state machines and about and regular expressions. And coming to the context free languages, we are going to learn, we learned the concept of in context free grammars, and we are going to learn the concept of in push down automata here, right? And in regular languages, the final state machines are learned and the regular expressions are, I explained you all those. And coming to the structure here, in two parts, like in regular languages and context free languages. And here we're having recursive languages and non-recursive enumerable languages and recursive enumerable languages. So after the context free languages, what the next step that we are going to learn is recursive languages, and then recursive enumerable languages, and then non-recursive enumerable languages. And this is the hierarchical structure. First, as from the syllabus or from the course of the formal language and automata theory. And here mainly we are going to learn about the regular languages and the context free languages, right? And then after these two, then after we are going to know about which are recursive and which are non-recursive, and again in that which comes under recursive enumerable and which comes under non-recursive enumerable languages, right? And here PDA is nothing but in push down automata, right? And this is in push down automata for these context free languages. What is that? So how to define the push down automata? And here why we are using this stack, right? So, and this PDA, or we can also call it as an the automata for the CF fields, where we are converting from the finite automata to regular languages. and then the PDA is also to an context free languages. And here, while defining the PDA, and epsilon minus the non-deterministic finite automata plus stack is nothing but an PDA. That means epsilon minus means without epsilon, the NFA without epsilon plus stack can be defined as an PDA here. And why to use and stack? Up to now, we didn't use the stacks anywhere else. In unit 1 or 2 or 3, in the 3 units, we didn't use the stack. But here we're coming to the concept of an PDA. Here we're using the stack. And with the stack also, we're showing the acceptance of the PDAs, right? And initially, our input string is in the form of an epsilon and FA, and we are showing that it is accept or it is reject. So for showing that whether it is an accept or reject, we are using an stacks here. And with by filling in stacks, a stack was filled with an stack symbols, and we are doing some push or pop operations. And after that, whatever stack get remains, that says that whether it is an acceptable or rejectable. It is not an epsilon minus, it is epsilon and FA. PDA means an epsilon and FA plus a stack. Epsilon and FA with epsilon plus stack. And this is a simple block structure of the PDA. And by giving an input string, and here I'm having a finite state machine where it is in the form of an NFA with epsilon machine, and with including with an stack, whatever the inputs I'm having here, everything is to be filled in the stack symbol. And after doing the push and pop operations, after performing the push and pop operations, finally we are saying that whether it is an accept or reject. And stack always, the stack in stack we are using an operation LIFO, last in first out. The operation that we're performing in the stack is LIFO. And here we're using push and pop operations, mainly push and pop. uh, uh, with the logic we are popping those. After pushing with the logic we are popping those. Why to pop means to make the stack empty and show that it is an acceptable. We are doing this. So coming to the context of the PDA, what the context of the PDA is here, it is just as a DFA. We already know what the DFA is, right? We are well known about the DFAs, and just as a DFA, and is a way to implement a regular expression. And here we are implementing an regular expressions, and also a PDA is a way to implement an context-free grammars. So both we are implementing here. With the PDA, we are implementing context-free grammar, and with the DFA, we implement an regular expressions. And here the PDA is always equivalent to the power of the context-free grammars. Already we learned the concept of the context-free grammars, how to write the grammars, how to phrase the productions in the grammar, all those things I explained you in the last classes. And here the PDA is always equivalent in the power of a power to and context-free grammars. And also we can choose the representation most useful to our particular problem. That means choosing everything is not in default. Here we need to choose ourselves. We need to choose for which problem it is suitable, and for the problem whether it is suitable or not, just by choosing we are representing it. And essentially it is always identical to a regular automata except for the addition of a stack. But here only we are learning about a stack. Up to now we didn't learn the stack, right? So just comparing that, it is identical to the regular automata, but except the addition of an stack. And here what the stack is means, stack is of infinite size. It not having a finite size. It is of infinite size. And always it allows us to recognize some of the non-regular languages. So this is in context of what the PDA is, and what the PDA is equivalent to, and what by using the PDA what we are going to implement, and how we're choosing the representations, and to which it is very identical to. All these things are comes under the context of the PDA. And how we can visualize a PDA with the schematic. So this is a visualization, same thing I explained previous slide. Input and finite state control and accept or reject, and the stack. That means always here we're reading an input symbol by symbol, and can write to the stack and makes the transitions based on the input that should be on top of the stack. Right. This is an PDA visualization with the schematic of showing that This is an input and this is an finite state control and this is an stack, and here we're showing whether it is an accept or reject. And with the finite state control, what we're going to do is we're just reading the input symbols by symbol, and also can write to the stack, and we are making them as an transitions based on the input. And finally, the transitions can be done based on the operation of the stack, last in first out. That means always the top of the stack should be inserted, right? So this is the visualization of an PDA with the schematic. And this is the most important definition of an PDA, the formal definition of an PDA, or we can also say that it is a mathematical definition of an PDA. And how we're going to define the PDA means PDA can be defined with an 7-tuple machine. And again, recall, NFA and DFA are the 5-tuple machines, Mealy and Murray are the 6-tuple machines. And while coming to the PDA, PDA is a 7-tuple machine. PDA is a 7-tuple machine. And what the machine includes, what the 7 tuples are here means q, sigma, tau. This is a tau symbol, tau, del, transition mapping function del, q naught, z naught, f, right? And see here we're having two different symbols, tau and z naught. This q we already know, this sigma we already known, transition we already known, and q naught and f we already known. But we're having two other more different symbols, that is tau and z naught. And let's see what the tau is and what the z naught is. And by starting tuple itself, I'm going to define what the q is. Q is a finite set of states. Sigma, a finite set of input alphabets. Now the tau, it is a finite stack alphabet. Stack alphabet can be represented by an tau, right? Del, at last I will explain you this transition mapping function del. Q naught is an initial state, or we can also call it as a starting state, and always it should be in an q. And z naught, again it is a starting stack symbol. Initially you need to start the stack symbol means you need to start with an z naught, and always it should be in an tau. That means from the from the stack alphabet you need to define the z naught, and need not always remain at the bottom of the stack. It should be sometimes, right? And f is always in final state or accepting state, and which is subset of the q. And now coming to the del is a transition function, right? And the transition mapping function is a finite set of states into an input alphabet union epsilon, where it is mapping with stack alphabet. It gives an finite set of q into tau star. Q into tau star means the number of states with an stack alphabet. The number of states with an stack alphabet. This is a most important transition mapping function. Please make a note of this transition mapping function. And all of you make a note of this 7 tuples, put a heading PDA. And the PDA can be defined as 7-tuple machine where m is equal to q, sigma, tau, del, q naught, z naught, and capital F. And define in each and individual tuple like this. And finally, please make a note of this. Make a note of this transition mapping function. Q into q maps with input alphabet along with an epsilon into, it maps with the tau, and where it gives an output in the form of a finite subsets of q into tau star. A finite subsets of q into tau star. Q is a set of states into stack alphabet, right? Is it clear? Please make a note of this definition, a formal definition of PDA. It is very most important definition here. And here coming to the explanation of this transition function del, what the del is q into input symbol into stack, top of the stack, where it gives q into tau. That is old state. We're taking an old state with an input alphabet along with an top of the stack. It is giving new state with an stack, top of the stack, right? So one see here, and del of old state with an input alphabet along with the top of the stack tau. That is, this is an stack alphabet, right? This is non-deterministic. And here what the output it is giving, p comma y. P comma y is, it is an current next new state along with its stack, along with its top of the stack alphabet. That means the state transitions from q to p. So a is a next input symbol where x is the current stack top symbol. Just relating this with this, then you can easily understand. So y is the replacement of the x. Y is replacement of the x where it is in already in tau star. So a string of stack symbols like that, we can say that. Now we are setting that y is equal to epsilon. For just you need to pop of x. So if x is equal to y or y is equal to x, then the stack top is changed. So then what the y becomes z1, z2, so on, zk. And now x is popped and is replaced by y in reverse order. So it can be written as z1 will be the new top of the stack now. Right. See here with the example I'm showing you. And q with p goes to q with a goes to p. This is a stack for x and this is a stack for y. Right. Both are in top of the stacks. Both are the stack alphabets. And now what the y is, now y initially it is an epsilon, means you need to pop x, or if y is equal to x means both y is equal to x means you need to pop x and you need to push, you need to pop x and you need to push. And then if y is equal to z1, z2 and so on zk, then you need to pop x and you need to push zk to z1. Right. So this is the way of doing the pop and push operations. Just performing the pop and push operations in a stack for the stack. So that's why whenever the both x and y are equivalent, the stack top is not changed. It is unchanged. If you pop the x, then again you need to push the x. Right. So this we can call it as a transition mapping function, the transition function for the PDA del, and it is a mapping function for the del. This defines the overall PDA rules. This defines the overall PDA rules. It is very most important. If you know well of this del, then it is very easy to do the push and pop operations. And let's see with an example. And now construct a PDA that accepts L is equal to 0 power n, 1 power n, where n is greater than or equal to 0. Where n is greater than or equal to 0. So here we're having a solution for this. What the language is, the language should accept 0 power n, 1 power n. And here I'm having a condition for the n is greater than or equal to 0. So by putting the condition of the n, just I'm writing the set of strings like this. What L is equal to, starting with an epsilon 0 1 0 0 1 1 3 zeros 3 ones 4 zeros 4 ones like that, right? So this language accepts the L, and here for this language we're going to construct this. And what the required PDA for this language is, again first of all what you need to do is you need to just accept the 0 1. Whenever you did an acceptance of the 0 1, then for the remaining strings it gets acceptable, because choosing an initial state and choosing an final state is most important here, right? Choosing an initial state and final states are most important here. So for only doing an acceptance of the 0 1, 0 1, just I am choosing three states here, q0, q1 and some q2 I can choose, or directly I can take qf, right? 0 and 1, 0 1 is 1 reaching with then 0 Q naught with the 0 goes to Q1 and Q1 with 1 goes to QF. So it is reachable states. That means we're generating the string 0, 1 from the starting state itself. Right. So if I need more number of zeros, if I need more number of ones, more number of zeros and more number of ones, in between I am using an selfs of this. At where I'm using the self means at the starting of the Q naught I am using 0 as an self state, 0 as an self state, because here I need to show an NFA with epsilon, NFA with epsilon, not an DFA. That's why I'm making 0 as a self for the Q naught state, and as well as already I make an 0 with the Q1 from Q naught, right? So then automatically this becomes an NFA. And if I use an epsilon, then it becomes an epsilon NFA. If I use an epsilon, then it becomes an epsilon NFA. So here I'm starting with an 0 and 0 with self for the Q naught, and Q naught to Q1 it is an 0. And now I need ones, right? So for Q1 I'm putting ones. For Q1 I'm putting ones, and Q1 to QF it is 1. So what it means is here I can use any number of zeros, then after ending of the Q naught, then here I can use any number of ones. Because any number of zeros and any number of ones means in the question itself from the language, whenever you end on 0, then the 1 should be started. If the zeros are ended, then ones should be started. So that's why I choose an PDA like this. I choose an automaton like this. Now after choosing this, it is completed, and I am not giving any transitions to the QF, because I'm not giving any transitions with the both zeros and ones for the QF. Just I left it out, and now I am making it as an PDA. And how to make it as an PDA? Now I need an input alphabet as well as I need an stack alphabet along with the states, right? So state with stack alphabet and an state with an input alphabet and an stack alphabet. Actually, in the place of this A, you put zeros, and in the place of this B, you put 1. Then it is very clear to you. And in before comma, whatever the word we are having, it is not an A, it is an 0, and here also it is an 1. So this required PDA is an default PDA for the types of languages like this. That's why we directly choose the PDA like this to show that the given language is acceptable by the PDA. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 1, and nothing we done in transition, again this is 1, right? So we get an input alphabets. Now we need to get an stack alphabets. We need to get an stack alphabets. So for choosing the stack alphabets, the same thing, the same inputs that we are taking from the stack alphabet, nothing differ is there, but vice versa. Vice versa in the sense here I'm having an B, right? B in the sense 1. Now I need to take an stack alphabet as in zeros, and here also I'm having 1 and it should be an 0, and here I'm having 0, and at one time I'm taking it as an Z, where Z is an starting of the stack symbol, and one time I'm taking the same symbol, same input, like 0 0, right? And at one time I'm showing it as an epsilon. I need to show it as an epsilon, so here I'm showing it as an epsilon. Is it clear? So this is an required PDA for the given language. L is equal to 0 power n, 1 power n, where n is greater than or equal to 0. And whatever the PDA that we're having here, this is a default PDA for the acceptable rules, whatever we're taking from the pushdown automata. So just here we're having a language for zeros and ones, and this PDA is acceptable for every language. So just what we need to do is, just by taking this PDA, in the place of S you need to put 0, in the place of B you need to put ones. Then finally you get the PDA of the language L is equal to 0 power n, 1 power n, where n is greater than or equal to 0. And this PDA should be, is acceptable for the given language, right? And here we're having some approaches. What the approaches that we made here for the construction of the PDA is, see here, as we want to design an PDA, right? So every time A comes before B, that means 0 comes before 1, as from the given question, 0 comes before 1. Or you can also take in the place of 0 and 1, you can also take A and B. So when A comes, then you need to push it into the stack. And if again A comes, then also you need to push it. Right. So when you're getting an B and you need to push it and then do the pop, push into the stack and do the pop, then finally the stack gets empty. If you done the process like this means, then finally stack gets empty because you're pushing 0 1 0. Then after reading 1 and you need to push into the you need to push it into the stack. Then whenever it is pushed into the stack, we're having the alternatives of 2, either 0 or 1 or 1 or 0. Then if you're having the alternatives, then you need to pop those, right? So by applying such type of an logic, finally you can end the stack. And how to end the stack means it should becomes an empty, then we can say that the string is acceptable, right? So here we're having some transition functions, stack transition functions. What the stack transition functions means, for example, see here, q naught with a, initially the stack is z, right? So when we are reading this means the input alphabet should push into the stack. Now it becomes q naught az. And if the both are same, that means see here, already I pushed an a, right? Now it is aa. Now both are same, both the stack alphabet and input alphabet are same means again you need to push it into the stack q naught aa. And when you're getting change of your state means when you're having the alternative alphabets, like see here, q naught ba, b, my stack alphabet is an b, my, sorry, my input alphabet is in b and my stack alphabet is an a. Now the alternates are found out, so you need to pop. And when, just to show that we performed the pop operation, just you need to change the state with an q1, q1 epsilon, right? So now the state becomes q1 comma b comma epsilon. Again these two we gets popped q1 epsilon. And finally nothing is there, q1 epsilon z, then it is qfz. So these are the transition function rules that we need to follow, that we need to use wherever it is necessary from the given languages. Whether the given languages are acceptable for such type of an functions means you can use these functions and you can make the stack empty. That's the thing we need to do here in the PDA. Right, I think you all understand the example number 1 and what the approaches that were used in the construction of this PDA. And here approaches is nothing but you need to write your own logic, how you are doing the pop. That means how you are deleting the variable, deleting the input alphabets, and how you are getting, how you are showing that the stack gets empty. So to show these two, and you need to make an approach, you need to make some logic for that. So you need to write the logic like an statement of paragraph like this. Then you need to write the transition functions, which rules we are going to use for making the string acceptance for the designed or for the required PDA. So this is a most important concept and most important thing. And designing the PDAs from the given languages are most important, and also showing the acceptance by accepting with an final state, as well as by accepting with by accepting just by showing with an empty stack. These are the two most important acceptances that we're having in the PDA. I think you all understand. If you have any doubts, you can ask, please. And the next example I will explain in the next class.